This is Support is Sexy, episode 278. Today we're going to talk about you are the expert of your own experiences. Welcome to Support is Sexy. I'm your host, Elayne Fluker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I interview inspiring women entrepreneurs who share their wins and their lessons to help you take your business and your life to the next level and create something sexy. Here we go. Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Support is Sexy. I'm thrilled to have you here. It just would not be the same without you. And we are continuing our theme this week on this idea of getting out your dreams and not being afraid to give it a try, not waiting for everything to be perfect. Moving forward, learning in action, that is what we're all about this week. That is what I'm encouraging you to do. So another thing that I think holds us back sometimes, again, I am guilty of this myself. We have this feeling that we're waiting to be an expert in a certain category. Now, for certain things, yes, you need to be an expert. If you're going to be a heart surgeon, I want you to have every bit of training that you need in order to be a heart surgeon. But for most of us, we are holding ourselves to this standard of being an expert before we even try something. And that is the thing I'm addressing all this week. I want you to try it. I want you to be in action. You've been sitting on this thing too long. You've had this idea forever. You know, one of the greatest experiences for me recently is the women that I have in my Create Something Sexy Mastermind, which is a group that is much more engaging. We talk to each other regularly, and the women in that group have amazing ideas, great projects and products that they're working on. And what has been the most thrilling is hearing them talk about these were ideas that they've had for a while, and now they're moving forward because we're working together. One, support is sexy, right? We're working together, but also because they have the courage to move forward. They decided that now is the time. They decided that they weren't going to sit and wait to be whatever this fantasy expert is to move forward in their area. Now, all of us have expertise in certain areas, and they certainly have expertise in a certain area. And this is sort of the evolution of that, or these ideas, projects, products are coming out of that expertise and the way they want to serve. So I say all that to say, for you, what are you waiting for? How can you be an expert in a category if you're not experiencing it, if you're not experimenting, if you're not being afraid, as we said in a past episode recently, of being a novice who wants to become a master? What are you holding off on? And one of the things that has been very powerful for me in the past couple of years since my friend first said it to me, my friend Marlon Peterson, who is host of the Decarcerated podcast, which is a great podcast. You should check that out. But Marlon mentioned something when a group of us were having a discussion one time about not being a quote unquote expert. He said simply, you are an expert of your own experiences. You are an expert of your own experiences. Complete mindset shift for me. An expert of my own experiences. I have experienced things in my life as an adult. Whatever I am trying to create, I am an expert of those experiences. Again, I might not have the experience or expertise in a certain area, but I have experiences that I'm bringing to the table. How can I maximize that and put that toward what I'm doing or what I'm creating? I have gone to everything that I'm creating with that mindset now. How can I use my expertise and my experience in a certain area to make this thing work? I won't know everything, as we talked about earlier this week. You don't know everything. Some of it's got to be an experiment, but don't feel like you're not an expert because you haven't done whatever is on the checklist. If you're an adult and you're listening to this, you have experiences. You've done something, not just accomplishments, experiences. Accomplishments is if we're holding something in high esteem and whatever meaning we apply to those things. But what about your experiences, and how can you package that, maximize that, bring that to the table for this thing that you have been sitting on and waiting until you become an expert before you do it? You're already an expert of your own experiences. So get started now. Other things, as we've said, you can learn along the way. Put those things in your bag on the journey. Don't try to start with everything at once. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. My favorite quote from Arthur Ashe, as I mentioned earlier this week: start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, and realize that you are an expert of your own experiences. That should be something that really empowers you to know that you can move forward with this thing that you're thinking about. Again, it's a new space. I get it. It's a new idea. It's something that you haven't done before. That is the beauty of it. The beauty of experimentation, as we talked about earlier. The beauty of not knowing. The beauty of what a great experience this is going to be because it's something new for you. Think about it that way. And yes, I am an expert because I have experiences in X, even if you're entering into a new category. And I always tell clients that I coach this, even if you're an expert in media and you're moving into interior design, you still have experiences. They may not be directly applied to your new business or area, but you are an expert of the experiences that you gained while you worked in media. In what ways can you apply that to this new thing that you're doing? That is up to you to figure out. That is up to you to learn as you go. What are the ways that you can bring your expertise and experiences from the one thing that you're doing to this new thing that you're doing? Or maybe it is something that's directly tied to what you're doing. Maybe you worked in media and now you're doing things like helping people create their brand stories, which, yes, that was a plug for me. That is what I'm doing, helping people create their brand stories. But even in that, I will tell you, it took me a while to get to that point where I realized I had expertise in that area, because that's not something I had ever done before formally with working with people one-on-one. It's something people were asking me about over and over again. Now, if I had sat and waited until I became an expert in creating brand stories, well, how would I ever become that if I didn't do it, if I didn't get started? I had to remember that I'm an expert of my own experiences. My experiences happen to be 20 years in media. That's the thing too. Some of us have 20 years, 30 years, even 10, 5, whatever, in doing something, but you still don't feel like you're an expert. And that's something, not to get off on a tangent, that women do a lot and men don't. Men are okay with being 20% prepared. There's studies on this. It's not just me ranting. Men are okay with being maybe 20% prepared or qualified for positions and things. Women want to be 100% before we even enter the arena. Most, and this isn't an all or nothing, most of us, studies have shown. So for you, hey, you're prepared, you have experiences, you probably have more than anyone else out there in your area. What are you waiting for? Now is the time. You are an expert of your own experiences. How can you make that work to your advantage? How can you show up for yourself and move forward? That is what it's all about this week, encouraging you to go ahead and move forward. No more sitting back, waiting. What can you do to take the first step? And I will tell you, when you take the first step, things will start to come your way to support you on the journey. It happens over and over again. People are always surprised by it. Even me, when I do it regularly, but I'm surprised that things show up like, oh, wow, there's a webinar on X. I was just thinking about how I needed to do that. Oh, wow, there's a course on this. Oh, wow, this person is an expert in that. Hey, here's a book that someone recommended that's completely what I needed. You never know where it's going to come from. You have to be, though, in motion. It may not just come to you as you're sitting there in your room or at your desk or wherever it is, thinking about the thing you want to do, but not taking any action. Be in action. There's learning in action, and know that you are an expert of your own experiences. All right. So thank you so much for listening. You know, I appreciate you. And listen, if you want to find out more information about the brand storytelling, which I mentioned earlier, go to brandstory.tips. Again, brandstory.tips. I have a free course there for you, video course, tons of information, tons of content, but it'll be easy for you to go through and see ideas, tips, strategies, the process that I use for helping clients create their unforgettable brand stories. This is a way, if you want to do it on your own, that you can look through and do it on your own. Of course, I'm an advocate for you to have support, because support is sexy, but go to brandstory.tips to sign up for the course now. Have a look. Let me know what you think, and I'm here for any questions. Okay, so again, I truly appreciate you listening, and now you know what to do. Go out there and create something sexy, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.